It is the beginning of April, a new month, which means a new writing update for everyone. So I'm going to go through where I'm at with my first draft on my book and some other things that I'm working on with my writing. And let's get into the update. I usually save this part for the end of each video, but I figured it would be best to move it kind of to this point. I just want to say thank you to everyone for your support, comments, likes, subscribing to my channel and following along. It is greatly appreciated. If you haven't subscribed already, but you want to stay up to date with my writing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for your support. I welcome any way that you can support me for sure. All right, so what have I been up to and what's the status of my writing as of the end of March and getting into April? So my first draft is coming along excellent. Now that I've kind of switched gears a little bit into how I'm writing for my schedule, which I'm going to cover in my next episode, I'm writing a lot more consistently, which means just ultimately in the end quicker through my book. Not sacrificing quality, but just being able to focus a little bit more on getting those pages out because of the way I'm scheduling now my writing. So the first draft is almost done, and barring some type of weird illness that I get or other holdback, it should be done in April. So I'm hoping that when I come to you with my May update, or maybe I'll do a special episode in between, I will have the first draft for my book done, which is very exciting. So what's going to be coming after that, of course, is the second draft. I probably will get into the second draft fairly quickly. I don't think I'm going to be taking too much of a break in between the first and second, mostly because it's been so long since I started the beginning of the book. I feel like I can still go back to it with a set of fairly fresh eyes, and especially now that probably some of the tones of the character and character arcs have changed slightly, and just kind of the world itself. I can go back to the beginning now, and with the fresh eyes of what I've recently written, I can see some changes that I might want to make at the beginning. So not taking too much time getting into the second draft once this first one is complete. Finishing up the first draft for this book means that I'll be starting with the first draft for my second book come the end of the month, and I am really excited for that. It is definitely a different sort of book than the first. It's still epic fantasy, but with a little bit more of a slow build-up effect, kind of towards the ultimate conclusion of the book, and I am excited to start working on that one. But of course, on my mind first is just knocking out this first draft for my first book. I'm also starting into the outlining for my third book, which again I'm really excited for. I kind of came to the table on that one having a very broad idea of what I want to write about. A story that I want to tell in my world that kind of bridges my future series together. And I had the very, very basic idea for it. But when I sat down to outline, within the first hour, I had the two main characters all organized, their backgrounds done, the majority of it. And then the next time I sat down, I had the first 4 chapters generally outlined. If you haven't looked at my video series yet on how I do my general outline, go ahead and take a look at that. That's kind of the process I'm going through right now. And so that's going very well. And again, just excited for the ending to that. And all of the books that I'm writing right now, these first 5 standalones, coincide with future series that I'll be writing. So again, they're standalones, read them separately. Even my future series, you don't necessarily have to read these ones, but I just think it would be a little bit of a joy for those who are going to read them and then can read my future series and kind of see some connections there. So another thing, aside from just the writing, but kind of the business aspect of things, I guess you could say, is looking for a cover designer for my book. There's someone who I enjoy, but just for right now, a little bit out of, quite frankly, just the price range on what I want to do for these first few books. And how I have set up kind of my model on putting these out there. It's going to be more beneficial for you than to me from a financial perspective. So trying to keep that cost low going into it initially. So looking for a cover artist who will do a good job, affordable, reasonable for me. So looking at that. And then I'm also looking at what to do for my maps for my book, because even though I make my own maps, and I think that they're probably decent enough to put into the book. I don't know if it's worth hiring someone to kind of touch it up and do their own, professional cartographers or people who have been making fantasy maps. And that's what they do for fun, and are much better at it than me. I'm definitely not awful at it. I've been doing map making for a while, but I also want it to be the best that it can be for people who read the book. So kind of going back and forth on that, on what I want to do for the release of my first book. Also, an update outside of my writing, more focused on this podcast, is I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on my writing rather than analysis. So I've been doing my Dune review, going kind of chapter by chapter, and that has been extremely fun, and I love Dune. It's been a great book going through. I know a lot of people have commented saying that they've really liked it, and people are watching each video that comes out in the series. But what I'm going to be doing is kind of condensing my final review for the last part of the book all in one episode, and then doing a final review of it, and then kind of keeping that same format moving forward when I review books. So instead of a chapter by chapter, it might be part by part. So part 1 of the book I'll review, part 2, part 3, then do a final review depending on the length of the book and what it is, just so I can spend more time on these videos for my writing. Giving my writing advice, what I'm going through, and then especially when my book comes out, I could probably do some read-throughs of my book, talk about it, so that'll be really fun as well. There's quite a few other things that I want to be able to tell about the release of my first book, but I'm holding off until I'm done with that first draft, and then maybe I can share some news on how I want to release that for everybody. So that is it. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Those of you who have commented before, liked my videos. It definitely helps so much. Just liking that video, subscribing, especially if you haven't already. Please do so. I appreciate you watching this. Please stick around. I'm excited to release my first book and have everyone enjoy it. Again, thank you so much for watching and your support, and I'll see you next time.